Oh my god, am I actually doing something on this channel? What? This is almost unbelievable. Except it's not, because I literally posted about it like 5 days ago or something, and if you weren't paying attention to that, well, too bad. Because I'm doing something very random. This is probably the most random video I have made. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I have made more random videos. Anyways, this is a tier list. I know, shocking, considering there's literally a tier list in front of you. And it's just a bunch of weird stuff that people have asked me to rank because, well, I asked them to, so that's what I'm doing. So, yeah, and it's also just a way for me to escape from the eternal void of pain and suffering that I currently live in and is my entire state of being, because I'm currently waiting for my 118 scale reissued Beast of the Mesozoic Chasmosaurus belli that still hasn't come yet. Not saying everyone else there's money, just adds to the frustration. Like, why am I not mine yet? What's taking it so long? Okay, maybe it's only been 4 days since the 90% of the videos, and that was the last one I've ever seen. But come on, 4 days, more like 4 weeks. I'm not a usually patient person, and I wait for things most of the time. But yeah, honestly, I really don't put it on a day, or I might explode because I'm just impatient, I guess. I won't start worrying until my grandma gets my Utahraptor. And if my Chasmo still hasn't come, if my Chasmo still hasn't come after that, then I will start to worry. But until then, I just have to control myself because, yeah. Anyways, today we are doing, well, actually, I already explained what we're doing, but the first one we have here is Beast of the Mesozoic figures, the new ones, the ones that aren't really, they're not a part of a particular series, they're just Beast of the Mesozoic, which I think is a cool thing, and I'm happy that they're doing that because we get a bunch of cool species. Yeah, I don't think I got the Chasmosaurus because I think they're releasing another Chasmosaurus with a boring paint scheme. I don't think they've posted about that one yet, fully painted. So I didn't put this one on here because I don't know what it looks like. And it would probably go in C tier anyway because I'm not a huge fan of the coloration. I would much prefer my Toxic Acid Boy over that. But anyways, we have most of them here. So, let's just go ahead and get into it. First one we see is actually not a Beast of the Mesozoic. This is Beast of the Cenozoic. Wow, fancy. It's the Smilodon, and I think this one's really cool looking. I'm not a big fan of mammals, and I don't plan on getting this one, but it is really cool to have a sort of different looking Smilodon, because normally, well, mammals are pretty boring with their coloration. They're not like birds, and they're not like reptiles. They don't have colorful patterns most of the time. Red, brown, and gray is basically your mammal color palette, but that's what you have. But this one looks really nice, and I do quite like its coloration. It's sort of like a melanistic Smilodon, and I think that's super epic. And if I was a mammal person, well, I say that like if I was a fan of mammals, because literally I am a mammal person, but you get what I mean. If I was a fan of mammals and I thought they were interesting, I would definitely be getting this one because I like it better than the Cyberzoic one. So this one, it's going in A tier because it's like one of the first good articulated mammals we've had. Although they are coming out with some mammoths. That's gonna be cool. Woolly mammoths, to be specific. So I actually might even get one of those. They'd be like the first mammal that I've ever had in my collection if I decide to get one. But anyway, so yeah, next one we have the Achillibator. Oh my god, what in the world just happened? I don't even know what I did, but I did something and I have just duplicated it. We have the Achillibator because I don't know why I said because. This one is okay. What I'm not even gonna hesitate. This is S tier. When I first saw this one in the Utahraptor, I thought, oh yeah, that one's cool. But I like the Utahraptor much more. I don't know why. But I did really like the Cyberzoic one. I still think I kind of like the Cyberzoic one better. I just like the extra bit of color around the neck. Because this one is based on the California condor, but the other one, the Cyberzoic one, is based on the Andean condor, and the Andean condor has more like patterns. It has a little bit of white feather fluff around its neck, and I like how they incorporated that into an Achillivator. So it looks really cool. And I think I'm trying to figure out if I should get this one or the Cyberzoic one, because I really don't want two, but this one's out now, which is making me want this. Honestly, I don't know, but it's S tier. We have the albino Zuni Ceratops. Not only are they reissuing the original Zuni Ceratops, but they have decided to make a albino version. And I think this one's really cool, but it's not really my thing. I would much rather have the original one just because it has more color. The albino one does look very cool. It has beautiful coloration. The patterns on it look very high quality, and the overall paint looks really nice. It's just not really my thing. I'm not a huge fan of the Zuni Ceratops to begin with. But yeah, I'm going to put this one in C tier. It's just not really my thing. But what is my thing is this Dilophosaurus. Now, when I saw the Cyberzoic Dilophosaurus, I need that thing. That thing is possibly my favorite Beast of the Mesozoic figure of all time. It looks incredible. It looks, I can't even describe it. It's so beautiful looking, and it looks so realistic. Like, it looks like it could start walking around anytime now. And they did not disappoint on the Beast of the Mesozoic version, because something I thought was interesting about the Cyberzoic one is that had a bright blue mouth. Like, the inside of the mouth was like bright blue, and I thought that was really cool. Not really like realistic, maybe. I don't know. How many animals have bright blue mouths? I don't know of any. But this is really cool. I know giraffes have blue tongues, but like, this is like the entire mouth. Like, that's pretty cool. And this one has an even brighter blue mouth, which I think is just really cool looking. And it's something that I've not seen done before. I'm definitely going to get this one, and I'm definitely going to get the Cyberzoic one. Actually, yeah, I'm going to get both. If I can't help myself, I'm going to get both, because Dilophosaurus is one of my favorite dinosaurs, just by itself, and this one looks absolutely incredible. In fact, I like it better than the Achillivator. So yeah, you are going up into the S tier, mister. Next, we have the Deinonychus, and the Deinonychus, I wasn't a huge fan of the Cyberzoic Deinonychus. I know I'm talking about Cyberzoic a lot, even though this is Beast of the Mesozoic, but I have to compare them to the original ones, because I don't know, the coloration on the Cyberzoic one just looks so weird to me. Like, it was like, it's blue, orange, and yellow, and I just don't think those colors look good together. Future Raptor Attack here, I just wanted to say it looks way better with its armor on. But this one looks very nice. It's more natural looking, which isn't always a bad thing, but because this one really looks good. I am a huge fan of the coloration. Well, not a huge fan. This is not the best Beast of the Mesozoic figure, but it's really cool. And if it's cheap enough, and if I at some point have the spare money to get it, I will definitely get it, because, you know, it is just another raptor. So it's not super exciting and not like a high priority on my list. But if I do have the chance to get it, I definitely will. I will put this one at the top of A tier if I can get it. Go there. Thank you. Next, we have the Utah Raptor. As I mentioned, I already have ordered this one. Well, I haven't personally, but you know, it's coming, and it's going to be mine. This one, I originally was like super excited for this. Like, I was so excited. This one looks so good, and it does. It does look so good. I just like the Achillivator more now. So, this one, don't get me wrong, this one's still absolutely epic and awesome, and just one of the coolest looking Beast of the Mesozoic figures ever. It's still not as good as the Achillivator. I'm sorry. It's cool. It's still S tier. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's not bad. It's like one of the coolest things ever, but the Achillivator's better. And lastly, we have the Allosaurus. The Cyberzoic Allosaurus disappointed me a lot in the paint scheme. Like, I get not every single one can be super flashy, bright colors, but the Allosaurus didn't look good at all. It just never really caught my attention, and it seems like everyone else was super excited for the Allosaurus, just probably because of it's a cool genus, I guess. I've not really ever been a fan of Allosaurus. It's just, it's another large theropod that's popular. So, but this one, man, this one looks really good. I probably won't get it, still, because it's probably, it's big, and I have room for more giant theropods that I don't particularly want? No, I don't. So, but I will put it in A tier. Oh, there we go. How long is this? Oh my god, it's 11 minutes. Okay, anyways, time for the next tier list. Long-tailed tit subspecies tier list. I was honestly expecting there to be more. Come on, this is the best you can do. There's only 3 subspecies. Anyways, I guess we'll just do them. So how should we start this off? I think I'll start from here. We have the Alpinus group. I hope I'm not saying that right, but it's a bird. This one looks pretty cute. It's got a cute little face. Average bird looking. It's got a nice long tail, which, I mean, its name already suggests it has a long tail. I think this one is kind of a generic bird, but has an extended tail. So, this is a good bird. Compared to the others, is it the best? No, I think it kind of looks like a nuthatch. And, nuthatches are cool. Referring to the white-breasted nuthatch, because there's like a bunch of nuthatches. I should have clarified. It's not as cool as nuthatches, so you're gonna have to go in A tier. I'm sorry. Next one we have is the Europaeus group, I think. This one looks kind of cool. I like the coloration on it. It's a good one. I honestly think this one's one of my favorites. It's got like a cool yellow eyelid, and it's very fluffy. This is a very round bird, with of course, a very long tail. And I think its beak could be a bit longer. It looks a little weird, I'm gonna be honest. It's got like this tiny little beak. But it's a bird. And you know what? I like birds. This one I think goes above the other ones, so maybe this is an S tier bird. Yeah, so I don't know how this bird behaves. I literally don't know anything about this bird. I didn't know about its existence until like 6 days ago, so yeah. Anyways, we have the Caudatus. Yeah, it must be Caudatus. It's a bird. Anyways, this one actually looks cool. It's actually kind of reminding me of the beast of the Mesozoic Deinonychus. It looks kind of like that. Is that a coincidence? Probably. I would say this might be the cutest one I've seen, and also has the longest tail, I think, of all of them that I've seen. It has a nice coloration. It has a white head, which I wish they would have added more coloration to its head. I think it could have done with maybe some black on the top, maybe a little bit of brown spotted here and there, but no, it's just colorless there, and I think that could have been improved upon. So, I say this one is not as good as the first one, but is it S tier? I don't think so. I think it's an A tier. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed the long-tailed tit tier list. I know it was a very, this is a very controversial opinion, I know, so just don't get mad at me. This is but, my opinion is just objectively correct, so you're wrong. In fact, really everyone's wrong, because everyone will disagree with someone. That means you must be wrong, because to someone, you are wrong. Maybe to you, you feel like you're right, but really, everyone's opinion is wrong, because everyone will disagree with someone, if you know what I mean. Anhinga tier list. Okay, next tier list. Brown BOTM figures. I think I have all of the mostly brown figures here, minus the ones we've already ranked, because they're pretty much going to be on the same, tier. So, before I continue, I just want to say there might be some that you consider to be brown and I didn't have on this tier list. Well, it might just because I just don't consider them to be mostly brown. Maybe they're more orange, like the Pentaceratops. That one you might consider to be brown, but to me, it looks more orange. So I'm sorry, but you're wrong. It's not brown, it's orange. So, starting it off, we have the Acaroraptor. You already know my opinions on this one. It is an S tier. In fact, it's the best beast of the Mesozoic raptor, and it's the only one I have on display that is not custom. Next, we have this thing. How do I pronounce its names? How do I pronounce its name? Please tell me a pronunciation on how I'm supposed to say it, because I have gone years not knowing how to say it, and I guess I was just too lazy to actually look it up, but please let me know, because I don't even remember how its name is spelt, so please, just let me know. This would be very good information that, next time it comes up, I will make sure to credit you, because I just need this information. Please tell me. But anyways, also, before I continue, this is just based on coloration and like sculpt wise. It's not like stability or like the actual figure itself. It's just what it looks like visually. So don't get mad at me if I rank some figures that aren't really the best, like stability wise or that kind of thing. But it's just coloration. This raptor is really cool looking. It's probably the closest thing we have to an Ostroraptor currently. So it's pretty cool. And I think the coloration is really cool looking. I don't remember what it's based off of, but I really like it. So honestly, this looks like an A tier. Oh, is it an S tier? It's a it's A tier. S tier, sorry. It's an S tier coloration, I would say. The Taco, and he's staring at me right now. Now, this is one that I made an exception on because I don't think it's mostly brown. Again, it's mostly orange. But since it is, he's threatening me with a knife right now, so I don't really have a choice, but this is an S tier coloration. Yeah. This is a Triceratops, and it is another S tier. They're not all going in S tier, don't worry. I don't know why I'm just choosing all the best ones. And this is not in any order because I don't feel like shuffling them around. We have the Dryptosaurus. This one's a really cool looking one. I was going to put it in S tier, but, I guess it maybe goes in A tier. Next, we have the Adasaurus. Why not Subtractosaurus? Haha, funny. Next, we have, it is a cool coloration. It's actually one of my favorite beasts of the Mesozoic raptors, but it's not as good as the Acaroraptor. So, I think, is it S tier or is it A tier? I really like it. I think it's cool looking at and all that good stuff. The Pyroraptor. This one, it's not as good as the Fan's Choice version, so it's gonna get C tier. I don't know, it's just kind of meh. It's not really super. Is it even C tier? Meh. Yeah, it's C tier. We have the Pachyrhinosaurus, and I really like this one. I think it looks cool, and I want it, kind of. So it's going in A tier. The Walking with Dinosaurs style Rex. I have never really been a huge fan of this one. I'm not a super familiar person with Walking with Dinosaurs. I watched it once 7 years ago, and I don't even remember what it's about. I know it's a documentary. That's about it. So honestly, it doesn't really mean anything to me. It's just kind of a boring looking T-Rex. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. In fact, I would probably say it's D tier. The juvenile Tyrannosaurus. I don't like its sculpt. I just don't. Its head looks weird. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's got the really big cheeks, and it just looks so weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just one particular one. Maybe I'm not remembering it correctly, but from what I saw, I was not impressed. But it does have the Chianzausaurus body size, which is a really good body size. It's probably the best for posability and all that. But we're basing these off of visual stuff, so you know, the head sculpt looks weird to me, so I would probably put it E tier. I don't even ever plan on getting it. The Eotyrannus. It looks like cinnamon hot chocolate. It looks quite nice. It's not my favorite out of the small-sized Tyrannosaurs. It's probably my least favorite, but it does look fairly nice, so I will put it B tier. We have the Velociraptor mongoliensis. I have the 1/18 scale version of this one, and it's my favorite coloration out of the Velociraptors. I think this one is really cool, and I like its coloration. It's sort of like a melanistic version of their original one. It's like, I like the cool mutations they're giving their dinosaurs now. And it's not labeled as this, but it still has that pattern that the original Velociraptor has. It's just darker, and I really think that's super cool, and it looks very nice. And the 1/18 scale version is very nice. So this one honestly is S tier for me. I am a huge fan of that one. The Mononychus, it's based off of an emu, I think. I mean, I don't know what else it would be. It's very emu coloration looking. But, you know, this one's fine. I don't think it's the best one ever, so I'll probably put it C tier. Actually, I'm going to leave you for last. The Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is the 1/6 scale. If the 1/18 scale version one was giant. Oh my god, what would a 1/6 scale? Oh my gosh. The 1/35 scale and 1/18 scale version. This is both of them because they're both the same color and everything. This one is actually pretty cool. I like the coloration. Overall, I think it's a nice color scheme. Yeah. This thing. Another thing I don't know how to pronounce, and I don't know, I didn't know of I don't know. I didn't know of its existence until this figure. It's just, I don't know. It's a boring one. I'm just gonna say it's another boring one. I'm not a huge fan of it at all. In fact, it might be one of my least favorite ones. I'm gonna put it F tier. I just don't like it. The juvenile Centrosaurus. This one is brown, but it's a cool kind of brown. I can't explain it, and I know I said in my Ceratopsian tier list that this one reminds me of fall, and it still does. I think it's cool. I just can't explain it. The Fan's Choice Torosaurus now. Yeah, this one, obviously, what do you expect? It's obviously F tier. This one is terrible looking. It looks so boring and is stinky and gross. So yeah, there's my tier list. Okay, I'm actually gonna be serious this time. You know what? The Torosaurus has gone through enough. To tell you the truth, I don't actually hate this one. It's just, I like making fun of it because it is boring, and I like the big blueberry boy better. But this one doesn't look bad. It still looks, you know, it's actually got a cool coloration. I like the patterns and everything, because, you know, I don't hate it. I despise it. It's going in F tier. Ha ha ha. Goose tier list. Yes, this is literally everything that I could find, which is referred to as a goose that is not an Egyptian goose, because that's literally just a shell duck. Why do they call them geese? They don't even look like geese. Anyways, yeah. There's some on here that aren't actual geese. They're like more ducks, but, you know, I put them there just because, you know, they're called geese and they don't look like exactly like a duck, so yeah, they're not all true geese, but, you know, I was told to do every single goose, and I did that. So let's just, oh my god, why am I doing this? This is so many birds. How am I supposed to rank them all? Anyways, I guess I'll just do this. We'll start off with this one, the upland goose, which looks more like a duck than a goose, and for some reason reminds me of a guinea fowl. I guess maybe it's because of its, you know, coloration, striping patterns, whatever. But it's kind of a cool looking bird. Kind of looks like Someone tried to make a goose but didn't know what a goose looked like. They've only seen ducks in their life, and like someone was telling them, oh, geese, they have longer necks than ducks, and they have a shorter, like different type of bill. They're not as flat as a duck's bill, and that's what they drew. And then they, made it an animal, because that's how animals work. People just decide to make them, and that's totally true. Anyways, that's what this looks like. But yeah, I think it's a cool looking bird. If I'm judging it off of looks, I would say this is probably like a C tier bird. It's actually kind of cool. But it doesn't look like a goose to me. So yeah, I'll probably put a D tier, just because it doesn't look like a goose. Is it even a goose? I doubt it. We have another one. This looks more like, it kind of looks like a dove, actually. It's got like the body of a dove or a pigeon. It even has like a sort of pigeon looking face. Honestly, I don't even know what to think about it. It's cool looking. It's got some really cool looking feathers. What is this? An Andean goose. Yeah, it doesn't look like a goose. Again, it looks like someone who tried to draw a goose but didn't know what an actual goose looked like. But since it doesn't look like a goose, and we're basing them off of, how goosey they are, this one's going to have to go in E tier. It just doesn't look like a goose to me. We have the Cape Barn goose, if that's how you say it. Now, finally, one that kind of looks like a goose. It's got a more goose-like body. It's just kind of gray, though, with some cool little spots there. I do like its coloration. It's got some nice patterns. Its beak is, it's a little weird looking, but, at least it actually kind of looks like a goose, so I'll put it in C tier. Next, we have the magpie goose. Why is it called magpie? I thought, I know that magpie is just a word that they put on any bird that has a black and white coloration that slightly resembles a magpie. But, I thought, it's weird. Why do they do that? It's just like the style of bird, I guess. And I thought, maybe it's just for like passerines and that kind of bird. But no, they'll just slap magpie on a literal goose. Okay, it's not a literal goose. It's not even related to like actual geese, but it's called a goose. It looks like a goose. This doesn't look like a magpie whatsoever. It's just black and white. So I guess that considers it a magpie goose? Like, what? Who named this? I don't know. I feel like you could have given it a better name, honestly. With anything with magpie in its name that's not actually a magpie, honestly, they were just not being creative at that point. So, personally, it's gonna go down for that. But overall, it does look like a goose. I think this is the first one that really resembles a goose as we know what a goose is. It's got really long legs, though. It's kind of weird. Its face is also kind of weirdly shaped. It's not the best looking bird, but I think it's better than the Cape Barn goose, so it's going to go in B tier. Finally, we have an actual goose this time. The Nini goose, or I guess Hawaiian goose, if you want to call it that. I've always known it as the Nini goose, but, it has other names. And honestly, I didn't even know it was called the Hawaiian goose until like recently. But this one, man, this might be the best goose ever. They're just so cool looking. Like, look at the patterns. It's so cool. I want to see one in real life. They're so cool. Like, look at that. It's like a fancy Canada goose. I mean, it's in the same genus, so it makes sense. Definite S tier. In fact, it might be the best. We'll see. The Branta genus is definitely my favorite genus out of any goose. Branta would just evolve into so many cool geese, and that's exactly what they did. Like, look at all these designs. They look so cool. Speaking of Branta, we have the cackling goose. Basically, like a smaller Canada goose with a shorter neck. It looks like a Canada goose that got shrunk, honestly. I don't know. It's a goose. I guess A tier, because I do like Canada geese, and it's just a smaller Canada goose. So, there we go. The pink-footed goose. obviously because it has pink feet, I would guess. But this one, is this an answer? Yeah, it is. It's an answer. That's why it looks like a goose. It just kind of looks like a goose. It's just an average goose. I don't know. It's a C tier, honestly. It's not super exciting looking. The spur-winged goose. This one, again, this looks like a duck. Like it has the head of a duck, but it's got the body of a goose. It's very strange. I'm not sure what's going on with its head. It's kind of weird looking. Honestly, I think this one, it doesn't really look like a goose, so I'm going to have to put it in D tier. Actually, yeah, I'm not going to scoot them around. I'm done doing that. That's annoying. We have the greater white fronted. Wait, I actually said that right. I was going to say greater white-faced goose. My brain somehow decided fronted was the correct word, but I didn't. I was saying that, but I didn't realize I was saying the right thing, and I actually thought I was saying the wrong thing. What? That probably made 0 sense, but that was the weirdest thing ever. So, greater white-fronted goose. It looks like a gray-lag goose, but fancy, and I like that. So, I'm going to put this in. It's a cool-looking goose, actually. You know, probably the top of A tier. It's just a fancy looking gray lag. So yeah, that right there. Next, we have the ashy-headed goose. Honestly, this one looks cool. I like this one's design. It's very sleek looking and smooth. I like that. It does, again, look a little weird. Honestly, it doesn't look like a duck, and it doesn't look like a goose. I'm not sure what it looks like, but it doesn't look like one of those. So, based on the coloration, I do really like this one, actually. I'd probably put it C tier, even though it doesn't look like a goose. I just really like its patterns and everything. We have the kelp goose. Why is it called the kelp goose? Does it eat kelp? This is a question that we may not ever know. And we also might never know that this is a good goose because it looks really boring. So I'm putting, it doesn't even look like a goose either. This is definitely an E tier. Actually, maybe an F tier. I don't know. It's just a boring goose. Like, come on, get a better design. You don't even look like a goose anyway. We have the ruddy-headed goose. It looks like a goose that was painted, and then they just decided to stop at the head. Like, it was molded in a brown material. They painted everything, but not the head. That's what it looks like. It's kind of like the ashy-headed goose, but worse, so I'm going to put it D tier. This looks like a duck. Like, legitimately just looks like a duck. It's kind of round. Why is it so round? I'm thinking that's just the way that the angle of the camera is, but its head looks really small on its body. But anyways, this is the blue-winged goose, and it doesn't look like a goose, so you're going in F tier because you don't look like a goose. Oh, wow. Okay, we have the red-breasted goose, and it's another Branta, and this doesn't even look anything like a Canada goose. Usually they resemble kind of all the same sort of coloration, but this one's going wild with its colors. It's like red and black and white. It's got all these cool patterns. I honestly like it. It's going in S tier. Next we have the Orinoco goose, another one that looks like a duck. What is with that duck face? Probably because, you know, it's not actually a goose. So you're going, you have a kind of cool looking coloration. I'll put you in E tier. The Canada goose. Yes, we can't go wrong with the Canada goose. This is a classic. Everyone loves the Canada goose. Okay, maybe not everyone, but I do. I think they're pretty epic and awesome. You know, it kind of gets boring after seeing a flock of hundreds of them surrounding a park lake, but, you know, they're cool, and I think they have a nice coloration, and I think they're an A tier bird. So they go in A tier, the top of A tier, in fact. There we go. Next, we have the tundra bean goose. Why, what relation does it have with beans? This is another question humanity has yet to answer. We may never know why it is called the tundra bean goose. I don't know why it's a bean. This is information we must know. But yeah, this kind of looks like just another gray lag, actually. It just kind of got a different looking face. So It's kind of boring, actually. I'm going to put it in the bottom of C tier. Next, we have the taiga bean goose, not to be confused with the tundra bean goose. This one's neck looks like so much longer. What is the difference? Again, it's got the body of a greylag and a different head. So that's basically the entire genus. The Anser genus is basically just, it looks like a greylag, but they have different heads. Because greylag is basically just the default goose, if I'm going to be honest. That's like basically the default. When you think of goose, you think of greylag or Canada goose. Those are, like, each genus has their default goose, and that's what you think of. But, you know, the greylag, I think, is more common. Maybe not. Who knows? Speaking of greylag, we have the greylag, and I am stretching it so much. Anyways, these geese, I see them all the time. Well, actually, not all the time anymore, but I used to have some domesticated greylags, and they're kind of cool looking, actually. You know, the default goose, as I've said, they're just, you know, they're just geese. They're not super exciting. In fact, they're kind of boring most of the time, but you know, they're not the worst, and they are an actual goose. So this gives them credit for being an actual goose. So I will put this right here. What is this one? Wait, is this a bean goose? Did I mean to put this one in A tier? I don't think I did. What? I don't remember putting that one. Anyways, whatever I said, it's going in B tier now. Next, we have the bar-headed goose. Now, just ignore what I just said about the most Anser genuses, the entire genus basically looking like greylag, because this one doesn't. This is the bar-headed goose, and I think its coloration looks really fancy, and I think it is an S tier bird. Oh my gosh, is this the barnacle goose? Yeah. Anyways, I love barnacle geese. I want to see one at some point, but they're so hard to find. You have to go like northeast and to see them. I don't want to go to northeast because that's far away, and I can't walk there, so I'm not going to see a barnacle goose anytime soon, unfortunately. Same with the Nini goose. I probably won't see one of those anytime soon. I wish I had, but unfortunately I can't because I don't live in the middle of the ocean. So this one looks like an Oreo cookie, and I've always wanted to eat it. They just look so delicious. Like, I swear, if I bit into one, it would literally just taste like an Oreo. But no, it probably wouldn't. It would taste like goose. We had the lesser white-fronted goose. This one's kind of cute, actually. Look at that face. Like, it's got a tiny little beak and everything. It's so cute, actually. But yeah, B tier. We have the Brant. I've always thought this one was funny. It looks like a Canada goose that got messed up. Like, they were painting it. Like, it looks like a figure they were painting, but it got so messed up. Like, the neck, like, just kind of, the paint kind of just dripped down its neck, and they mispainted, I guess, the white spot on its face. Like, it didn't get on its face, it's just on its neck somewhere. But, you know, the body looks kind of normal. So that's a thing. Its legs look really short too. Is that just the way the grass is? I don't know. But the Brant is probably my least favorite of the Branta genus. So, you know, it'll go there. We have Anser Canagacus. I don't know. I was gonna try to pronounce its species name, but I can't. The emperor goose. It's kind of cool, but also kind of not. Like, it's got some cool patterns, but like the head is just white. I don't know. I think it's okay. It's different, but you know, I don't like the patterns that much. We have the Ross's goose. Very similar to snow geese. Basically they look the same. I think Ross's geese are a little smaller. This one is very cute, and honestly, they're cute little guys. I may or may not have seen some. It's hard for me to tell if I'm looking at a Ross's goose or a snow goose. So honestly, I may have seen them, I may have not. So they're a goose. I think they have a bunch of different morphs similar to snow geese, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just kind of a goose, actually. It's just a goose. Speaking of snow geese, we have the snow goose. These are very cool to see. They migrate through giant flocks. Like, I mean giant. It's probably the most birds I've ever seen at one time. I remember earlier in March, I went up to a marsh and saw so many snow geese. It was so many. The lake, well, not the lake, but yeah, it's kind of a lake. They were just littered there. You could not look like 2 inches without there being a snow goose. The water was just white with feathers and snow geese. It was really kind of cool, but also not, because like I don't want to see just snow geese. I would like to see other things, but they're cool, honestly. I like snow geese, and they're fun to see. When they migrate, sometimes, I'll see Canada geese flying overhead in the fall when they're migrating and everything. But, it's rare that I see snow geese, and it's really cool when I see them. So I'll put it in A tier just because of that. And the swan goose. This one's probably my favorite out of the Anser genus. I just think it looks so cool looking. It's got such a long bill. Reminds me of an Osteroraptor. So this one is going to be, actually I kind of like them better than the red-breasted goose. So it's gonna go right there. There we go. There's the goose tier list. I can't believe I did that, and I can't believe it almost took 20 minutes. Sasha, I hope you're happy. Hammond collection tier list time stuff things. This one, I'm going to try to speed run this one because I really don't want this video to be 2 hours long. So, first one. Well, actually, I want to say I might do this on my main channel at some point. Now, don't take this as me saying yes. This is not me saying yes. This is saying might. I might do it at some point. Yeah, and I will go into more detail in that one if I do it. But yeah, the Triceratops, not a huge fan of it. There's no jaw articulation, although that might be a good thing. Personally, I don't think Mattel does a good job of actually making the herbivores' mouths actually open how they're supposed to be. Like, literally, I'm looking at the Habitat Defender trike. It's just its beak that opens. Like, it's breaking its jaw. That's not how its jaw works. It's so weird. I don't like it. So I'm glad that they didn't do it on here, although maybe not. Maybe they would have actually done it right. Who knows? Probably not, because this one came out before the Habitat Defender. So, this one is probably, honestly, it's kind of disappointing, so I'll put it D tier. The male raptor from The Lost World. This one, it's got that weird head that the Velociraptors had up until Blue. Although Blue still had a weird-looking head, it is going in C tier. The Baryonyx. I have this one. It's the first Hammond collection figure I got, and it's not the best. Its joints got really loose over time. I would say this one's probably an E tier. The Brachiosaurus. This one, a lot of people are excited about, but honestly, I just don't like it. I don't like the big sauropods anyway. I thought they were cool when they first came out, but they just sit around in your room. You're not gonna pose them because they have like no posability, although this one does. And you could do some cool things about this. It's just the space this thing takes up. And the neck is like not, I've heard it's not really good articulation in it. I don't know. I think this one is one I will be glad not to get. And I think this one is D tier. The Giganotosaurus, I want to say Giganotosaurus, like a weirdo, but Giganotosaurus is, honestly, this one's a really good one. Although the Giganotosaurus design from Dominion isn't the best Giganotosaurus, I think the design is just, it's cool. I just wish it was an Acrocanthosaurus, even though it doesn't look like an Acrocanthosaurus either. But it would fit it better, because like I literally thought it was an Acrocanthosaurus when I first saw it, and I didn't know what it was. Like, oh, cool, they're gonna have an Acrocanthosaurus in Dominion. But no, it was a Giganotosaurus. But this one's definitely an S tier. I don't really have anything wrong with this one, aside from the glass eyes, which I'm not a huge fan of. But next we have the juvenile Stegosaurus. Now this one is when they actually got the jaw articulation right on. Wow. Who thought they could actually do that? Okay, to give them a little more credit, they did do it on the Maragaya mainline figure, I guess. But I guess for Stegosaurs, they just decide, oh, well, we know how to do that. But when it comes to any other type of herbivore, they just say, let's just make its beak open. That'll look fine. But it doesn't. It looks really terrible, and no one likes it. So, although this one does have the jaw articulation, I don't like it. It looks weird. Next, we have the Parasaurolophus, the second Hammond collection figure I ever got. This one's paint is really good. I like the coloration. Everything looks good, except for its jaw. Why? Why, Mattel? Why did you make its beak open? It's so weird. Stop doing that. It would look so much better with, like, not that much effort just to make its jaw open normally. Like, come on, Beast of the Mesozoic does it. It's not like it's some impossible thing that can't be done, because it can. It would look it would look so much better, and I think a lot of people like it better. Also, the way that the arm joints, the elbow joints are, it's kind of weird. It's hard to explain. I wish that it had hand articulation as well, but it's probably B tier. I just really like its coloration. The Ankylosaurus, I'm not a huge fan of the Jurassic World Ankylosaurus anyway, or Jurassic Park style or whatever. Both of them, I just don't like it. The coloration is really just not my favorite, and that's not Mattel's fault. That's just what they based it off of, and I wasn't planning on getting this one ever. I just thought, it's just another one. I think Ankylosaurus is a really cool genus, but I just don't like the Jurassic looking one. It just doesn't look right. So I'm going to put it in D tier because, actually, it's got good articulation and everything. Yeah, it's C tier. The Corythosaurus. This one is one that I actually wanted to get. It does share the same sort of body type as the Parasaurolophus. Again, it's got the weird jaw, but, it's really cool looking, and it's the first Corythosaurus they've ever made. So, I was going to get it, but for some reason I just never did, along with the Irritator, which I wish I had gotten, but, I didn't. So, this one is going in A tier. I really like the coloration, because it's the Lost World one. Speaking of the Lost World, we have the Pachycephalosaurus. I don't like it. Again, it's got the weird jaw. It's just, I don't care for the Lost World Pachycephalosaurus design. I'm not a big, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Pachycephalosaurus fan either. I don't know, they just look weird. It's honestly probably one of my least favorite designs. The Gallimimus. This one's fine. It's not super exciting. It's not, super epic or anything. It's just kind of there. It's cool to have a Gallimimus with this much articulation and everything, but it's cool, it's fine. I'd say it's a B tier. We have the Tyrannosaurus Rex, their first attempt at a larger Hammond collection figure. Now this one does have a lot of issues. The joints particularly get loose over time, especially the legs. Also the way that the mouth opens, you can't open the top jaw and the lower jaw separately. They just move both on their own. They move together, and I never really like that. I think the Giganotosaurus is the same way, and the Carnotaurus as well, but, I was not a huge fan of that. Also, the teeth are kind of weird looking. They're not the rubbery stuff that they use now. I think it's a separately molded plastic, but it kind of looks weird. And the glass eyes were just not good at all on the first wave of these. I know they re-released it and kind of improved that. I don't know what it looks like because I don't have experience with that one. Also, the coloration isn't the best. It doesn't really represent Rexy the best, but I've been talking for way too long about this. But I would say it's probably one of my least favorite Hammond Collection figures I have, even though it is still really cool. Speaking of Hammond Collection figures I don't like, we have the Velociraptor. This one's head is so weird looking. It's so wide. And its feet are massive. They don't need to be that big. This is before they decided to stop making giant clown feet for them. And I think this is probably the worst Hammond Collection figure I have. And it is going, well, yeah, it's definitely F tier, but it's not as bad as the Stegosaurus, so it's going right there. The Irritator, by far one of my favorite looking, my favorite Hammond Collection figures. The Irritator, I'm already a big fan of Irritators. They're pretty cool. But this one looks really nice. The coloration, I think, is inspired off of a game or something. I don't know. It was really surprising that they made an Irritator, considering it hasn't appeared in any movies or TV shows or anything like that. So this one was really cool, and I'm kind of mad I didn't get it, because I was going to get it, but they never appeared in stores, and I was too lazy to get one, and I probably didn't have the money at the time, so I don't know if you can still get them for a reasonable price. Probably not, considering the Hammond Collection and what happens, but honestly, I think it's an S tier. I really like this one's design. Speaking of designs I like, here's one I don't like. This is the Ceratosaurus. Now, the Ceratosaurus, it's a cool design, I guess. Coloration-wise, it's really iconic. I don't really care for the Ceratosaurus in Jurassic Park 3. It's just a dinosaur. It doesn't look super exciting. It's not like it's interesting that much. It's got I don't care for the design much. But this one, oh my god, what did they do to it? Its teeth are like marshmallows. They look so weird, and it's got not a very realistic looking face. Well, you can't really tell because it's got the Camp Cretaceous style. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just looks like it came from Camp Cretaceous. It's got sort of that animated looking face. It doesn't look as realistic as some of the other ones. I don't know. I just don't like it. And now, I just move it. They're super expensive. Who wants one of these so bad that they're charging $200 per figure? It's ridiculous now. Anyways, this one is D tier. The Dilophosaurus, however, I really like this one because I unfortunately missed out on the Amber Collection Dilophosaurus, and now that thing's $300 to get one new in the box. The Hammond Collection one is good. I still want the Amber Collection one at some point, but it's really expensive. I'm probably not going to get it anytime soon. But the Hammond Collection one, although its paint scheme isn't as good as the Amber Collection one, it does come with cool accessories, because you have the neck frills that are flared out, and you have the ones that are not flared out, and I think that's cool, and I think that that's cool that they included both of them. So this one is, well, actually, is it an S tier? I really enjoy posing it. It's super fun to pose and do stuff with, so I'm going to put it in S tier. We have the Juvenile T-Rex. This one, I kind of forgot it existed, to be honest. It's not really exciting, actually. I'm not the biggest fan of the Juvenile T-Rex, so I just don't really care for it that much, so I'm going to put it in F tier. But it's not as, well, is it F tier, is it not? Didn't they turn out looking terrible or something? I don't remember, but, it's going to go in F tier, just because. Next, we have the Dimetrodon. I don't like this one. I don't know what it is. The sculpt is just kind of off looking. I can't explain it because it doesn't look bad. Maybe it's the tail being super long. I don't know if Dimetrodon's tail was actually that long. I don't think it is. It's funny how they make their tails on dinosaurs that like actually have long tails. Not long at all. They make them short little stubby things. But on this Synapsid that shouldn't have a long tail, they give it a long tail. What is with that? Anyways, maybe it should have a long tail. Maybe I'm just don't remember anything. But I don't like this one very much. And I think this one is going to go in B tier. Although the coloration is very nice. The Pyroraptor. I was really excited to see that they were making a Hammond Collection Pyro because, I know a lot of people hate the Jurassic World Pyroraptor design, and that's fine. But it's probably one of my favorite designs for any Jurassic Park thing because I love feathered dinosaurs, and this one is really cool. And I like Dromaeosaurids. I know you probably you probably can't tell. I mean, it's not like it's my name or my profile picture or anything, but I do like Dromaeosaurids, and I like feathered dinosaurs. They could have done better on this one though. The connection on the elbow and the arm it looks so breakable. Like, I feel like if you move that too much, it's just gonna snap. It looks so bad. I wish they had done something more like the Beast of the Mesozoic, because you don't need to make the arms be able to move all around. You don't need to make it rotate. You just need to make the feather wings come out in and out. You don't need to have to rotate them upside down or anything. They have to have that Mattel style, so they just gave it a hinge, and I think that it just doesn't look as good. The paint on it isn't also as good as I was hoping. It's still okay and everything, although the head sculpt honestly kind of looks better than the actual one in Dominion. Is that just me? Does it look more like a raptor than, I don't know. Anyways, I think this one's still cool, and I would probably put it in A tier. It's above the Corythosaurus. I just don't feel like I'm going to move them anyway. The Geosternbergia. With my experience with the Amber Collection Pteranodon, which this looks like basically just a resculpted head of that. Basically everything looks the same. I hope they used a different kind of rubber for the wings. If not, this is probably one of the worst ones. I hope so, because the Hammond Collection does use a slightly different material as the Amber Collection. But I don't have this one, and I've never had any experience with it. But my Amber Collection Pteranodon, its wings, where they fold on its hands, the rubber just got really brittle over the time, and it just tore apart. So speaking from experience from that, I hope this is different, but bending any kind of plastic like that can probably do that. And I don't know, it's okay. Its feet don't touch the ground, which I find really annoying at times. It's just not one of the best sculpts. Again, it's probably going to go in D tier. We have the Metriacanthosaurus. I really like this one, and I wish I had gotten it. Same with the Irritator. Is it as cool as the Irritator? No, but it's still cool, and I wish I had gotten it. Carnotaurus, I have this one, and it's probably currently my favorite Hammond Collection figure. It's just really cool and epic and awesome, so it's going to go in S tier. It's going to go here. If I can move things, but yeah, the coloration, everything, the paint work is really good. It stands, and it doesn't have giant, massive feet. The female Velociraptor from Jurassic Park 3, even though this one does have that weird head thing, I do really like the Jurassic Park 3 raptors, especially the female ones. I think they just have a really cool looking design and everything. So I was considering getting this one when it was on sale on Amazon for $14. But I decided against it because do I need another Hammond Collection Velociraptor? I thought not, and I'm kind of glad of that because I don't think I need another Hammond Collection Velociraptor. But it is cool nonetheless, and I guess it's a little bit higher than the male version just because, it's one of the only female Velociraptors that they've made. Next we have Delta. And man, was I excited to get, well, I wasn't excited because, you know, I'm not as big on Jurassic World as I used to be, but Delta is my favorite, one of the four raptors from Jurassic World, because I just really like her coloration. It's very, I like the sort of turquoise teal coloration that she has. I think that's cool, and the patterns are nice and everything. I have the Amber Collection version, and that one is really good. The paintwork on that one is like incredible. It's just the overall quality of the actual figure is terrible. This one, you can, it's basically the opposite. The overall quality of the figure is really good. It's just the paintwork is absolute crap. So you get a fairly well made Mattel figure for all the paintwork, like all the money went into the actual sculpt and everything, the actual plastic quality, but not the paint. I'm honestly, I still am, I don't want to get to this one. It's not like high priority thing or anything, but some point, if I find one on sale, I kind of want to get it and repaint it. So I'm going to put it in A tier for now, until I probably will change my mind once I get one. This one is obviously an S tier. It's definitely, is it better than the Giganotosaurus or worse? You know, the articulated claws are so weird. I know people say they're not as weird as they look in person, but man, they just look weird. I don't know. And the neck, I feel like it could be better articulated or something. So yeah, that's my Hammond Collection tier list. Also, I realized that I forgot to put the Hammond Collection blue on here. But that one would probably go next to Delta. You know, I said I would speedrun this, but this is not a speedrun at all. Trash can tier list. Because, why not? Let's just, you know, this is the last tier list of the video. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. That's fine. Anyways, I do consider myself somewhat of a trash can expert. So, first one we have is the this is the Greater Metal Trash Can, the Greater Metal Kitchen Trash Can, commonly found in the kitchen. So this one, I actually have one that is in the kitchen, and it's very similar to this. It's just slightly different. Now, this one is a fairly good one for all your standard size trash. Now, once you get anything bigger than like a box of crackers, then you get the problem, because this thing cannot hold like anything large at all. The lid is super small. The entire can is very small. So really, if you're trying to throw away anything bigger than a box of crackers, you are out of luck. So, although this one is nice, and it does have a nice closing lid and everything, it's probably a B tier. Next we have this metal can. What is this? I don't even know if I've ever seen one in real life. I'm pretty sure they just use these in movies, because I have never seen one out in the wild. Is this like, what kind of trash can is, who uses these? No one uses these. These are F tier. What is the point of them? They look weird. Next, we have the common plastic kitchen trash can, a subspecies of the greater metal kitchen trash can. This one is very common in kitchens as well. It is, again, small, but you have a different type of lid, and it's also not made of metal. So this one is a little bit, it's not as fancy as the metal one, because it doesn't have another separate can inside that you can easily take out. Actually, what's the point of that, really? I don't know. But yeah, this one is just kind of your standard trash can, and I would say it's probably B tier as well. Next, we have the small, lesser room trash can. This one is one for anyone who is too lazy to actually go take their trash out into a normal size trash can. Or if you need something small, like you're not going to put so much trash in it, you just need a small container. Like if you're drawing something and you have pencil shavings or packaging or drawings that you think are terrible and just throw into the trash can. That's what this is. And I kind of need one. So, as much as they're kind of boring, I'd probably say they're probably a C tier. Next, we have the outdoor park trash can. These ones can usually be found around parks and other outdoor areas. They're very helpful for keeping trash out of parks, and they can be used outside because they're heavy, they withstand storms, and, well, you don't have to worry about them blowing away because they're made of metal, and I'm pretty sure they kind of attach to the ground or something. I don't know. I'm not a trash can expert. What made you think that? Because I said it? Why would you believe that? But yeah, this one's kind of cool looking, honestly. It's kind of cool looking. I put it in A tier. Next, we have the common wheeled outdoor common city trash can. Did I say common twice? I don't remember. But this one is very, very common. In fact, it might even be the most common type of trash can found in pretty much every city and everywhere that they have trash, which is everywhere. But, pretty much every house that doesn't live out in the middle of nowhere has one of these, like the city takes them or something, I don't know, but you can also have these just for your own, because I actually have one. In fact, it looks just like this, and this one's very helpful, because it has wheels on it. You can take it around, and it makes it much easier to relocate your trash. So no matter where you want to take your trash, whether it's to go dump it in your neighbor's backyard or to take it to somewhere to actually where trash belongs, this one is right for you. Plus, it has a lid ensuring that raccoons won't get into it unless you forget to close it. In that case, you better be ready to pick up all your trash in the next day. Honestly, this is an S-tier trash can. I mean, come on. Now, speaking of what's not an S-tier trash can, these monstrosities, these things, I don't know who in the world decided to make this. This thing, this is an abomination. I don't know if you've ever encountered one of these. Now, normally I find them in a bathroom where you would throw away the paper towels. It's just, a place it's just a nice trash can to put paper towels in, I guess. But that's fine. Although when they get full, it makes it so you can't open the lid because you have to spin it. It's like a spinny lid thing. And when you have too much trash in there and people are pushing on the lid to get it to go into the can, it pops the lid open, and then you see all the trash in there, and it looks gross. Honestly, if it's paper towels, it's fine. But sometimes they'll have these in outside restaurants or something, and it's so gross because then you have to kind of touch it and there's ketchup on it, and it's so gross, honestly. No one wants to touch this. No one wants to put their hand next to one of these to throw something away. This is an absolute monstrosity. I wish they never existed. Now, we have a subspecies of the wheeled trash can. This is the immobile trash can. They can only be moved by a person. They can only be moved by lifting them, and that can be annoying if you don't know how to lift something. So, especially if they're very heavy. These ones, I haven't encountered very much, but I do know that I used to have some, and they were really annoying to have to drag all over the place. So, they're okay, but I would much rather have wheels on them. So yeah, that's my trash can tier list. Why in the world did this take 7 minutes? It does not seem like it should have. But yeah, I was going to do more tier list and everything, but honestly, this is enough. But this is enough tier list for the rest of the day. For the rest of, honestly, the rest of the month. The rest of the year, maybe, honestly. Who knows? Yeah. Also, I just wanted to say something. time I was there, I saw 4 gremlins in your apples. This is, like, without a doubt an S tier line. I mean, come on. There's no way you don't like this line. And fun fact, it was originally, last time I was there, I saw 4 gremlins eating your apples. The original line was that, but for some reason, at some point, I decided to start saying in your apples instead. So they weren't actually eating your apples. They were just in them. They're just crawling around in them, I guess. I don't know. But apparently they're rats, not gremlins. So I guess maybe that makes sense, because rats do crawl around and stuff a lot. Yeah. This is an S tier line. Also, if you don't know what I'm talking about, too bad. If you're from the future, then you do know what I'm talking about. Probably. Also, probably not. Okay, hopefully by now most people have clicked off the video. If you haven't and you still don't know what I'm talking about, well, I guess you're just going to be utterly confused. Because I'm going to be ranking the rest of Willy's lines. Sasha, why? Why did you make me do this? No one's going to know what we're talking about. Anyway, this, you know what? This is just for you, Sasha, because you're the only one who might get this. Except for Mantis, he might get it. But probably not, because I changed a lot of the lines. But, okay, first one. Also, if I don't do the perfect Willy voice, I apologize, because I'm not really feeling like Willy right now. And I'm also just going to do these in one try. So if they don't sound right on the first try, too bad, because I'm not redoing them. What's a Sasha? And is it edible? Yeah, I can't do the deep voice right now. I'm sorry. But this one, is it funny? I thought it would be funny. But it's, well, Bob talks over it, so it doesn't really, like, you can't hear it that much. But I guess if you do figure out what he's saying, it's kind of funny. It's like a little Easter egg, because, you know, Willy likes to eat everything. So, of course, that's going to be his first thought. So I guess this one could be funny if you think it's funny. So it's a B tier, I guess. Next we have, honestly, I just want to go home and eat dinner. This one is, I guess, kind of funny because, again, Willy, he just likes eating stuff. That's all he does. Like, Willy, all he wants to do is eat stuff. I attempted a Bob voice. Honestly, I changed the Bob voice so often that I don't even remember which one I decided to stay with. But anyways, this one is, I guess is it a B tier? Yeah, I guess it is. It's kind of funny, I guess. I'm not really the right person to be ranking these, because I have heard them over and over and over and over again editing, and also I'm the one who has to say them. So to you it might be funny, but to me, it just repeats in my head over and over again. And it's not that bad. I'm exaggerating the things, but, you know, it takes a lot of tries to get the line to sound right. It can be quite frustrating at times, but most of the time it's fine. Look, man, I'm just as confused as you are. This one it's just him talking to Bob. It's not funny. It's not meant to be funny, but it's just him talking. Oh, but speaking of funny, we have this line. Now this line, oh man, this one. If I was going to rank this one in, like, how fun it was to do, this one would be an F tier, because this one caused me so much pain and suffering doing it. Honestly, I'm just going to play the actual line right now, so, because I'm not doing it right now. You know what, Bob? Why don't we help her? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I really just don't want to make my entire family think I'm going insane. Because, fun fact, this line took me a long time to get to because it was so embarrassing to think that I needed to do this when there was people in my house. So I waited until there was a time when I was the only one in the house so I could just be as crazy and insane sounding as I wanted and no one would ever know. Well, I guess not no one would ever know, but, I wouldn't have to do it in front of people. So, also, the laugh literally killed my voice after 5 minutes, 5 tries of doing this laugh, because basically, it just made me sound like I had just gotten over a cold. Actually, no, it sounded like I was currently having a cold. My voice was just absolutely destroyed. I could barely talk. So I had to wait like 30 minutes between recording these because if it wasn't good on the first try, if it wasn't good on the 5th try, I definitely had to wait in between this. And that's what caused this to be an F tier. But it was worth it. I would say this is an S tier line. Next we have, no, they were definitely gremlins. Again, I think I sounded more like a girl that time. But, I mean, it's hard to not sound like a girl. But, I didn't do my Willy voice very good for this one. But, this one is, I guess, could be funny if I haven't heard it 10 times. Is it funny? I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'll put it C tier. Okay, for this one, I can't just sit here and do this. I have to go across my room. Okay, does this sound good? Does it sound like I'm halfway across my room? Because I am. Except for the gremlins. Okay, did that do it? Is that thing? Anyways, this one I guess is an A tier. It's kind of funny. Okay, that's all like the major Willy lines so far. I hope, actually, by the time this video actually comes out, I'll probably have gotten more, but whatever. These are like the ones that everyone knows. Well, the one person that actually works on this knows. Because I'm the one editing, and Sasha is just existing to watch it, basically. I mean, he wrote everything, so I just have to edit it and everything. So, we're basically the only people working on it. Although Mantis, he did help on filming, and I'm very grateful for that. But I would wish that I wasn't the only person editing it, but you know what? It is what it is. And, it's fun. I like this movie, and hopefully it'll turn out good. If you are still watching and you're not Sasha or Mantis, well, I guess you're just confused because you have no idea what I'm talking about. Haha. Anyways, thanks for watching, and remember, don't let the gremlins in your apples.